Hello and welcome. My name is Rob and I'm a registered dietitian here in the UK. As part of my New Year's resolution, I've been reviewing a few of my health habits. The one I wanted to talk about this week is sleep. If you want to make positive changes to your health or are struggling to lose weight, you may find this video helpful. Sleep can easily be forgotten as something we have a significant degree of control over. Sleep wasn't something I gave much thought to for much of my life. It was just something that happened almost every night. I've always considered myself a reasonably good sleeper, but I wondered if there was any room for improvement. After reading Matthew Walker's Why We Sleep, I started to give my sleep the attention it deserves. Matthew has had a very interesting career spanning many decades in the field of sleep science. He highlights the links between poor sleep and ill health in his book. I was already aware of some of these, but I had no idea how important sleep was for so many physical and mental conditions. The book prompted me to review a range of lifestyle factors to improve my sleep and health. I've certainly recognised the potential for poor sleep to impact on my general mood and my well-being. Therefore, I'd like to highlight some of the links between poor sleep and ill health in this video. I will then discuss the benefits of good sleep, factors that may impact the quality of our sleep, and finish with some practical tips we can all use to improve our sleep. Our weight is partly determined by the many subconscious decisions we make for ourselves on a day-to-day basis. If we give our bodies the rest they need, we are more likely to make decisions that promote achieving a healthy weight. We can work with our bodies by prioritising getting sufficient sleep instead of fighting against them. Have you noticed a desire to eat more when you are sleepy? This is because sleep swells concentration of hunger hormones and suppresses satisfying hormones. Poor sleep leads to insufficient leptin being produced and increases ghrelin, leading to a loss of hunger control. 5 hours of sleep per night might be considered acceptable by many. However, depriving your body of sleep may mean you still feel hungry even after a sufficient food intake. For example, one study found that individuals ate 300 calories more per day when made to sleep less. These extra calories can add up very quickly. This excessive intake could result in around 12 pounds of weight gain per year for some individuals. In addition, people who feel tired from insufficient sleep tend to be less inclined to undertake physical activity during their waking hours. Food choices also change when individuals are sleep deprived. They may experience cravings for sweet, carb-dense and salty foods. Poor sleep can also impact on your ability to absorb essential nutrients. Unfortunately, people living with obesity are at a much higher risk of sleep apnea, commonly associated with heavy snoring. This condition can cause chronic sleep disruption. Sleep apnea and obesity present a vicious cycle, with individuals experiencing increasing rates of poor sleep and then for increased difficulty losing the weight. Regular, good quality sleep can significantly help with weight management. In addition, sufficient sleep can aid impulse management for those who find themselves unable to control their cravings. Sleep helps fine-tune the balance of insulin and circulating glucose, ensuring a healthy metabolic state. However, high levels of blood glucose will cause damage to a range of tissues within the body. Usually, insulin will instruct the cells to uptake glucose for energy. If the cells stop responding to insulin, termed insulin resistance, blood glucose levels rise, potentially leading to type 2 diabetes. A higher rate of diabetes has been found in people who report sleeping less than 6 hours per night. Does this mean those who sleep less are more likely to develop type 2 diabetes, or do those who have diabetes sleep less? Researchers examined the effects of sleep deprivation on people with normal blood glucose to answer this question. Participants were limited to sleeping 4 hours per night for 6 nights. After this period, the participants were 40% less effective in absorbing a standard dose of glucose. Small tissue samples suggest the body cells became far less receptive to insulin when shortchanged on their required amount of sleep. Chronic sleep deprivation is likely to be one of the significant contributors to the development of type 2 diabetes in many developed nations. A two-way link exists between sleep and your immune system. When you are unwell, your immune system demands extra sleep to help fight off invading pathogens. However, just one night of poor quality sleep can degrade your immune system, resulting in increased chances of becoming unwell in the first place and longer recovery times when you do become ill. Sleep even impacts our body's ability to react effectively to a vaccine. Those who sleep poorly tend to develop less effective resistance to infections following a vaccine than those who get sufficient sleep. A clear link between working night shifts and increased chance of developing a range of cancers has been identified. These cancers include breast, prostate, endometrium and colon. I will not deny that this information had some part to play in my decision to leave the ambulance service for a 9-to-5 career in dietetics. Of course, some sectors, especially healthcare, will always require people to work night shifts. Scientists have also identified an increased risk of cancer in those who regularly sleep less than 6 hours per night. This association may be due to the increased rates of inflammation seen in those who get insufficient sleep. As a result, the World Health Organization has officially classified nighttime working as a probable carcinogen. Sleep is the body's way of dealing with and recovering from the day's events. Our sleep is split into two phases: lighter, non-rapid eye movement or NREM sleep, and deeper, rapid eye movement or REM sleep. Both are important for us to feel restored. Contrary to some people's opinion, in that they can manage perfectly well with just a few hours sleep per night, the vast majority of us do need at least 8 hours of sleep per night. Research suggests that biphasic sleep may be the natural sleeping pattern of humans. This pattern means one long sleeping period at night and one short nap in the early afternoon. Next, we'll look at a few factors that impact our ability to fall asleep or reduce the quality of the sleep that we do get. Deep sleep quality and quantity often become degraded with age. This change may play a part in the deterioration of people's health as they get older, as it's during deep sleep our brain and body can repair from the day's damage. Although we currently can't prevent aging, some treatments and medications are available to help those with age-related sleep problems. The human race would rise with the sun and end its day with the setting sun for much of its existence. The advent of fire extended this period by a small degree. However, the modern invention of the artificial light has allowed humans to work deep into the night and set the scene for a reduction in sleep quality for many. This exposure to light later into the evening delays the natural signal the setting sun would send to the brain and body that it would soon be time to sleep. Evidence suggests that both the amount of light and the colour of the light can have an impact, with light closer to the blue end of the spectrum having a more significant effect. However, any light exposure does still have an effect. For example, even a very dim bedside lamp has been shown to reduce the release of melatonin, a chemical messenger that tells the brain it's time to sleep. Being exposed to electric light late into the evening can delay your body's internal clock by 2 to 3 hours, delaying the time you can fall asleep. Laptops, tablets, and phones can be particularly problematic due to the light's intensity, colour, and proximity to our eyes. In addition, a reduction in REM sleep has been found in those who use LED devices at night, in this case, those who use tablets compared to a paper book. Caffeine is the most widely used and traded legal stimulant on the planet. Caffeine works by competing with adenosine receptor sites in the brain, blocking them to prevent the sleepiness signal getting through. Circulating caffeine levels in the blood peak about 30 minutes after consumption. The problem with caffeine is the half-life of the drug. It has an average half-life of about 5 to 7 hours, meaning 50% of the caffeine remain after this time. This also means there's very little difference between having a half cup of coffee at 9 p.m. if you usually have a full cup at 3 p.m. Other foods such as dark chocolate, tea, energy drinks, ice cream, weight loss pills, and pain relievers can contain caffeine. Don't forget, decaf still contains caffeine at 15 to 30% of regular. So 3 cups of decaf in the latter half of the day would be the same as having a normal one. Some people can clear caffeine from the blood very quickly, whereas for others it may take much longer. Aging increases the rate it takes to metabolize caffeine, so those who used to tolerate large amounts when they were younger may not be able to do so as they get older. Despite some people's demeanour, alcohol is a sedative. It is essential to recognise the difference between sleep and sedation, which are pretty significant. Sedation provides the body with far less of the therapeutic qualities of natural sleep. Alcohol tends to fragment sleep, making it less restorative. Alcohol also inhibits the brain's ability to experience REM sleep. This inhibition can impair our ability to learn new facts. These effects of alcohol are made worse by the fact that the majority of people typically drink alcohol later in the evening. The issue here is the length of time it takes your liver to process the alcohol. Unfortunately, most people will still be metabolizing those 2 to 3 glasses of wine or beer late into the night and into their sleep period. So to finish, I wanted to share 12 tips that I found particularly useful from the book. Number 1, stick to a sleep schedule. Ideally, set the alarm for waking up and bedtime, and also try and get up at the same time on weekends. Number 2, don't exercise 2 to 3 hours before bed. Number 3, avoid caffeine and nicotine, both of which are stimulants. Number 4, avoid alcohol before bed for the reasons we have just discussed. Number 5, avoid large meals and beverages before bed. This may result in stomach upsets, which could potentially wake you up. Number 6, avoid medications that disrupt your sleep. If you are having problems, it may be helpful to ask your GP for a review. Number 7, don't take naps after 3 p.m. as this can reduce the natural pressure to sleep at an appropriate bedtime. Number 8, relax before bed. Plan in time to relax as part of your bedtime routine. This could mean taking a bath or doing some stretches in the last hour. Number 9, keep your bedroom dark, cool, and gadget-free. Ideally, also have dim light in the rooms you spend your evenings in. Maintaining darkness in the sleeping room is also very important. Consider installing blackout blinds and curtains to ensure minimum light can get into the room. Also, turn off or remove any electronic devices that pose as distractions or have standby lights. Number 10, invest in a comfortable mattress, duvet, and pillow. We spend almost a third of our lives in bed. This seems like a good reason to invest in quality mattresses and bedding. 11, try and get natural light exposure early in the morning to help set your body clock. 12, and finally, don't lie in bed awake for more than 20 minutes if you can't get to sleep. If this is the case, get up and perform a relaxing activity in a different room until you feel sleepy and then try again. Anyway, that's it from me. I hope you found this video helpful or informative, and if you did, why not give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. And before I go, this is your weekly reminder to never stop learning because life never stops teaching. See you in the next one. Cheerio.